Survive, man. When you're struggling to survive, you need somebody to follow. So I figured you might not give them God.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing on this evening? Y'all already know who it is. It is your girl, Miss Kiwi, and we are back. Why not say it? It's definitely in the building. And I have my co-host, my lovely, lovely co-host.
Miss Mink is in the house. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
And we definitely have a great topic for you all tonight. So we would love for you to join in. Call in 515-599-1687. That is 515-599-1687. Hey, shout out to our boy Fast Lane 747. Got big things going. And he's not in the studio with us tonight. But, of course, we're going to keep on pushing.
Keep on pushing.
Yes, yes. But we have a great topic for you all tonight. But right now, Mrs. Mink is going to give us that mission statement.
You know what it is. That mission statement is we want to make sure that we bridging that gap between our youth and our season. We want our season to know, as well as our youth, that everyone has a voice that should be heard. Now, youth, you got to be a little respectful when it is that you're dealing with the season. But hey, the season will give you the same respect as well. So make sure that you tuning in, calling in, not with no foolishness, but you calling in to get in on this topic on tonight. And let's keep it good.
And tonight we are talking about a woman with no friends. A woman with no friends. Let that sink in for a minute. How do you feel about that? What is your opinion about a woman with no friends?
Well, I'm going to say this. A lot of times women may not have friends because it is that, a lot of women are not socially equally yoked. So therefore, that could impact that woman from having friends. And then, you know what? Nowadays, friends, how many of us have them? Friends.
Well, you know what? So a woman with no friends, what kind of boundaries do she set?
Well, when you say boundaries, let's expunge a little bit more on what you mean when you say boundaries. Tell me a little bit more what you're talking about.
Well, boundaries. What kind of boundaries do you set? If you have no friends, or if just let's say we're speaking on a woman with no friends, but let's just say period. What type of boundaries do you set? Are you a type of person that set boundaries? When I say boundaries, I mean defining personal space. I mean communication of expectations between you and that person, financial responsibilities, privacy and emotional support. Understanding how to set personal limits is essential for building and maintaining a healthy relationship. So, what type of boundaries do you think a woman with no friends set for herself?
Well, you know what? And it just depends because if she's, say, for instance, a confident woman, if she's someone that is self-motivated, if she's someone that's a go-getter, if she's someone that don't like drama, if she's someone that, I could go on with the if she is this. So that could have a lot to do with why it is that she may not have friends. And she may not even care about that neither, in reference to having those friends because financially she's okay. She's very independent. She minds her own business. She, stays to herself. And some women can't deal with that.
Well, society always make it seems like as if you didn't have any friends or you was a woman with no friends, that you lonely, that you weak, or you can't fit in, or you might be manipulated by other people easily. But I feel like this, a woman with no friends, because I can speak on that because I am a woman with no friends. me personally, I feel empowered. And the reason I feel empowered is because when you are in a place where you alone, you have to solely learn how to depend on yourself. You know, they say a woman that has friends around her all the time, you find yourself trying to compete. You find yourself like, your thoughts are really just not your thoughts, because you thinking about, oh, if I think this, then how they gonna feel about that? Or if I say that, what they gonna feel about that? But I feel empowered because it helps me motivate myself. It helps me to really learn who I am, because a lot of times we go through life, it ain't so much about pleasing other people, but you want to make sure everybody is okay. But at what moment do you make sure in that moment that you are okay?
That's right.
So for me, in this season, I am a woman with no friends. And the reason I say that is because right now I am rebuilding myself. I'm learning what I like and don't like, what I want to deal with and don't want to deal with. I'm learning about, just different adventures of, things that I just got away from that I might have wanted to do this at one point of time, but I got so caught up in my friends, or, what my friends wanted to do, or, just pleasing people, trying to make sure everybody else is okay except for myself.
Right.
So in this season, I'm learning how to say no. So I am a woman with no friends, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a weak woman. And I can go anywhere and get into any situation. And what I mean by that, I'm talking about I can be around other women and I feel very secure in myself. A lot of people say, oh, that's just an insecurity because you don't want to be around no people, or you don't know how to deal with people. But that's not always the case.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? Not necessarily is it that you have to be around people all the time. And when we speaking of, say, for instance, friends, because we know that a lot of women have male friends. I have male friends, that I talk to sometimes, or whatever the case may be. There is nothing going on with them. However, I have that capability of being able to have male friends where I can talk to them, where I can, if I want to go chill, I can go chill with them, or whatever the case may be. And there is no expectations. Sometimes when it is that we have female friends, there is some expectations out.
There's a lot of
from you of that other female. And that's one thing that I don't get. Instead of us lifting each other up, instead of us, just motivating, cultivating, being on each other's side, and so on and so forth, we do a lot of tearing each other down.
Do.
And you can find yourself building closer relationships sometimes with men versus, the same sex.
I'm going to say in this time and these days now, our men is getting a little flaky on us too, though, because they starting to get them female tendencies. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is that, like I said, people society have made us feel like things that's normal or not normal anymore. And we got to get away from that. Like in rebuilding my life, like I said, I'm learning how to say no. That don't mean that I love you no less. That don't mean that I look down on you, or, I feel like I'm better than you. That just means that I am no longer available to you at any given time.
That's right.
I am no longer going to stop what I'm doing to make sure you're okay. That does not mean that I don't deal with you or I don't love you no less. That just means that I am taking my life back and I am focusing on what Christy like, or what Miss Kiwi like. And I feel that's okay. And I feel like a lot of people need to get back to that, because for one, if you start learning and reprogramming your own mind to know the things that you want to do and the things that you like, you can really be even a better friend to someone when you do befriend them.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? Sometimes, and this is just my opinion in reference to things that I've experienced and especially here lately, gaining your freedom back and gaining that sense of, respect for yourself, as well as starting to build. What I have been doing is building a relationship with God and really getting close to God, because that's who keeps me grounded.
Yes.
God keeps me grounded. And I'm not saying that everybody, because everybody don't have that same faith, or everybody don't have that same belief, or whatever the case may be. When people feel that they are, do your flesh still rise? Hell yeah, my flesh still rise, and it rises higher sometimes than other times. But for the most part, when it is that flesh has risen, then I know where to go to subside my flesh, because I'm human, and there are things that go on in your life that causes your flesh to rise. And you know what? And a lot of times, and I've experienced this, it's women just don't know how to do other women. They rather want to come at you all sideways and crazy. So then you get to, acting crazy with them when that's outside of your character, or the character it is that you are building. So sometimes, yes, like you stated earlier, Miss Kiwi, is that you have to step away. God will put you in that place where you need to be by yourself, so that you can rebuild, because he got something for you, something better for you. And when you think about things that have held you back, or things that have slowed you down, or things that have, kind of made you subside when it is that you're supposed to rise, then he gonna, hey, when you seeking him, you're going to realize that he's going to put you off. So you may not have those friends, those female, male, whatever.
When you think about it, though, a lot of people have to understand that, like that saying, they say birds of a feather flock together. A lot of times when you hear that saying, you thinking of all negativity. But that goes for anything, any person that you hang with, whether it's good or bad. Birds of a feather flock together. You know what I'm saying? People got to understand that the people that you keep around you are the essentials of your lifestyle.
Right, exactly.
Of what you do. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when, you outgrow things or you change things in your life, you will see a lot of those people anyway fall off.
Yeah, you will.
And then it makes you wonder, like, oh, so were we only friends for this particular reason? Or, but a lot of times it's not even so much that. It's the point that God is trying to get us in a place where you don't depend on nobody but him.
That's right.
Absolutely. Like when you're around other people, your life is loud. You can't hear what God is saying to you. So a lot of times he have to get you to that place where you're by yourself, so that he can get you to the place in him where you need to be. He can show you that purpose of what is your life purpose in life. What is it that you actually supposed to be doing in life? And a lot of times the things that we're doing ain't nowhere near
what we
our
supposed
purpose.
to be doing. Right?
You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
That's why I say in this season, I'm okay with being a woman with no friends. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I don't have no insecurities about me. I love every freckle on my face. I love every little piece of inner tube around this body and anything else that comes with it. Am I perfect? No, not by a long shot. I am still a diamond in the rough. I am still being remade. But the thing about it is that being alone for me, and this is just for me, it's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I can really see what I like to do.
That's right.
I can really express myself. I get in the mirror and I actually talk to myself. And I motivate myself. I encourage myself. Because once I am remade and my thoughts are reprogrammed, see, when I step back out the door, and if I do attract a friend, I'm going to know how to be a friend. Not that I'm not saying that I didn't never know how to be a friend, but the thing of it is that you could be a friend to somebody, but that don't mean they're being a friend to you.
That's right.
But when I come back, I'm going to demand and I'm going to expect, like, I'm going to tell you what I like. I'm going to tell you what I need. You know, I'm going to tell you what I need you to do for me. And if you can't meet those expectations, then we might not need to be friends.
That's right.
And it's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. And it's not just, you know, the friends with, you know, women. It's any
Friends.
relationship. You know, because even if it is that you are married or you are dating or whatever the case may be, that significant other is supposed to be like your friend. You know, I don't know. It's supposed to be your friend. So if it's your husband, if it's your significant other, if it's somebody that you're dating and you're trying to get to know, that's the best time though. When it is that you are out there and you are, you know, mingling and you're trying to get to know the other person that you're, you know, attracted to, or you starting to kind of like hang around more, then that's when you build and establish what those expectations are, what it is that you expect for that person, how it is that you want that person to treat you, how it is that, you know, listen to them, see how it is that they want to be treated, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's very important when it comes to us being friends, you know, us being friends to other people and not just what it is that we expect, because you have to be like kind of similar to being equally yoked, because if that person is not on the same level that you're on, then it's always going to be some type of turmoil, some type of tornado, wind, funnel, tunnels, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's always going to be something like that. So just like it is that you're saying, when you, even if it is that you've been in a long-time relationship and those relationships drift apart or whatever the case may be, it's okay to separate and split and be apart on a peaceful level. You ain't got to leave each other and dislike each other and so on and so forth. You can be on a peaceful level, but just know that you are both at that point to where it's to, yeah, it's just not, you're clashing, and it's just not meant for you all to be together. And I think that's a lot of why people fall out, just because it is that I was your friend and we didn't, you know, agree, and you were a part of my season or whatever the case may be, and now it's time for you to move on, me to move on, because our seasons are going in separate paths. Then it shouldn't be hatred or heart, you know, anger or whatever the case may be. Let it be, let it go, and be peaceful about it. That's all it is. That's something that I strive for. You know, if I'm not getting ready to be with a person, if I'm not getting ready to be your friend or whatever the case may be, we have already grown past our disagreements and what it is that may have caused us not to be that friend, that husband, that wife, that girlfriend, that boyfriend, that soulmate, whatever you want to call it. So let it go peacefully. Don't turmoil is not it. And all the stress and all of that crap is not it. So whatever it is that you and possibly that friend, understand that friends come and go. Some are for lifetime, some are for short time. That's the same way with relationships. That's the same way with girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, so on and so forth. As far as a husband and wife, you want that relationship to be a lasting time. But there are times when there are certain marriages that grow apart. You just not meant to be together. So it's all about those relationships. How can you keep a friend? What would you say, Miss Kiwi, in reference to making that friendship last, I guess you would say, forever?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. In this season of my life right now, a family ship, a community ship, a job ship, a relationship, any ship, anything that's not, anything that's not respectful to me, I'm not going to try to hold on to it. Like, right. I'm just being honest with you. In this season, that's why I am a woman with no friends. I don't want to come with no expectations right now, because I feel like this: a lot of people will not treat you the same way you treat them.
That's right. Absolutely.
So with that being said, I am rediscovering myself right now, and I'm my own best friend. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to sound selfish or trying to act like, oh, I'm just, but right now, in this point of time of my life right now, I am my own best friend.
That's right.
I'm, hey, if God send me a friend, I'm okay with that. I have a friend.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And my thing of it is that people have to start understanding that you was born in the world by yourself.
You gonna leave.
You will depart this world by yourself.
Yep.
And all of the heartache and friendships and sponsorships and relationships, and it's so many ships going on to where, you know what I'm saying? You gotta start by loving you.
That's right.
Because a lot of times we get so far gone from loving ourselves, and a lot of things be dumped in our spirit to where we just be all over the place. And we can't be a good friend to nobody, because we can't even be a good person to ourselves.
That's right. That's right.
So,
I mean, and that's a part of that. A part of this topic is being your own friend. I mean, what?
Okay.
Everybody needs some people that they can talk to, because it's only so much that you can say to yourself. Now, I'm just, gonna be real.
Well,
sometimes I may answer myself, but it is only so much that you can say to yourself.
Guess what? When I don't want to talk to myself, I'm going to go talk to Jesus. You know why? Because he ain't never steered me wrong. He ain't never hurt my feelings. He ain't never not showed up when I needed him. See, that's a friend. You feel what I'm saying? And in this season, God is teaching me how to be a friend, a for real friend. And in him teaching me how to be a friend, he's also teaching me how a friend should be to me. Yeah. Because like I said, you go through life trying to please, and making sure everybody else is okay, checking on everybody else, you calling, making sure. But at what point do you get that same in return?
That's right.
So, right now, I'm my own friend. And it's okay.
Yeah.
It is okay. Listen, I learned when I moved to Memphis that it was okay to be by yourself. You don't have to have not one person around you.
That's right.
To enjoy life.
That's right.
Because God will teach you how to enjoy life by yourself. And what I'm saying, I'm not saying that we don't need nobody. God created us to have, people in our lives. But what I'm saying is sometimes we get so far off the mark with people to the point where you have to shut people off and be able to get by yourself. Because if you can't deal with by yourself, then if
you can't deal with you, who else gonna be able to?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's
call in 515-599-1687. Talk to us. We definitely gonna talk back.
Right. Because we sure that you have something that you want to share, or that you can put input on the topic that we're talking about tonight. So you may feel the same way in reference to having a friend or not having a friend. And I know that some people can't do without friends, and that's where a lot of loneliness come in.
But see, and my thing of it is that I think at one point in time, I was that person. You see what I'm saying? Like, I just had to be around people. It just felt better. But to be honest with you, when you be by yourself and you learn how to be by yourself, you don't have to worry about trying to impress. You ain't got to worry about trying to cater. You ain't got to worry about trying to pamper. You don't have to worry about people being deceitful. You don't have to worry, because you know what? You learn how to straight stand on your own. Yeah. And not only that, in that standing on your own, being alone, because you're not lonely.
Right.
But being alone, you learn how to discern people more better. You see what I'm saying? You'll be able to tell when bull crap is coming your way even the more.
Yep.
Right now, when you have so many people around you, you really can't tell the real from the fake.
That's right.
Because your
Absolutely.
discernment be off because you around people all the time.
all the
So you
time.
don't know what to discern.
Yeah.
But when you by yourself, oh, you can see it coming a mile away.
Yeah. And you know what? Not only that, when it is that you have found you and, hey, you can love on you, it don't matter.
I love on
if
this
you
big old potato.
have... You so stupid. You're so stupid.
Baby, I'm looking like a big old potato today. But I love it.
It don't matter if it is that you have a certain friend or whatever the case may be, because for the simple fact of reason being, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Even sometimes being with or in a relationship, you are by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's sad.
You setting yourself up if you have any sense, you setting yourself up at that time for when it is that other person ain't gonna be there or nobody's gonna be there. You are able to relate and deal being by yourself.
And then that the thing about it is that it's like being by yourself, you don't have to worry about being set up. Do that make sense?
It do.
Being by yourself, you ain't got to worry about being set up. You ain't got to worry about the fake and the phony. You ain't got to worry about, you looking at me smiling and telling me out your face you love me and you can't stand me.
Right, exactly.
And you really don't even like who I am. You don't even like what I stand for. And that's why I said being by myself, I'm okay with that because I'm straight. I want to be around people that's going to encourage me. People that want to see me win and I want to see them win. And I ain't talking about the fake and phony people. I'm talking about people that's really striving to do right and to try to live right and to be, hey, when I fall, you ain't going to let me lay down there too long. You know what I'm saying?
And then
you going to pick me up. Let
me just tell you something. When it is that you are, by yourself, you can mingle. You can mingle with a whole bunch of people. I find it quite interesting being in the position where you are, basically by yourself and you learning how to, get out there and do things for yourself and all that stuff. And because it is that I'm saying me, had been with somebody for so long and doing things with them and so on and so forth, then when that started slacking off, then I had to learn how to do things by myself. And I had a real problem with going to the show by myself or going to a restaurant by myself or whatever the case may be, because I always had that someone that would go with me. But not now, because when I go to a restaurant, I can find somebody to talk to very easily. When I go to the movies, it's somebody that can sit down next to me and be asking me, is this seat taken? Can I sit right here? Of course you can. And then want to talk your ears off while you throughout the movie.
But somebody on my live says some people can't be by themselves because they can't face them demons that they have. And that's so true. But here's the thing. You rather continue to be in a miserable position of being around people that's fake and phony,
and don't
because
be
guess
bothered.
What, you talking about you can't face them demons, but them just as much as the demons as the ones you dealing with, as opposed to get by yourself, cry out to God, tell him that you lonely, face them demons. Because I'm gonna tell you something, going through life hanging around people that's fake and phony, that don't want to see you strive or don't want to see you get nowhere or don't want to see you exceed in life,
or just think about themselves,
that right there is that's what's miserable. That's miserable.
Yep.
And we all know that misery loves company. Misery loves company. But a lot of people, I just feel, well, I'm gonna speak for myself. And a lot of the relationships that I had, start off setting a boundary, or I started off, displaying my boundaries, but then somewhere down the line, I kind of put my boundaries to the side because I start compromising. And that becomes miserable, because now you find yourself things that you know that you would not have dealt with. You find yourself dealing with
That's
it. You
right.
know what I'm saying? And
That's
you done
right.
dealt with it, and you done dealt with it,
Yep.
and you continue to deal with it. And now you feeling like, oh, I just can't do. Yeah, yes you can. Yes, you can. And the reason I can say it, because I am a living witness. Yes, you can. A lot of times we get in these relationships and we be so gun-ho, and that go for a man or a woman. We put our all into these people, and then, they end up breaking you down and breaking your heart, and now you feeling like I just can't. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We can do all things through Christ Jesus, baby.
That's right.
And I'm going to tell you something. The same person you call on every time you get in trouble, call on him and trust and believe he'll be right there. He'll take that loneliness away from you. If you need a hug, he'll hug you. You need a kiss, he will kiss you. Trust and believe me, baby. I'm telling you, through whatever you need to do, he will do it for you. Because, baby, it's sad.
The only spirit that's going to be jumping in you is the Holy Spirit. And that's the best spirit to have.
I'm telling you. Because, baby, I'm telling you, these little ninjas out here, baby, hey, they laying down dogs and getting up dogs, and they got fleas and rabies and everything else, too. But I'm going to talk about these little nasty women out here, too, because, baby, they just as nasty. And the thing about it is nobody's going to the doctor checking themselves out. Everybody just sleeping with everybody. And then you wonder why. No, baby, I am a woman. I'm not lonely. Not at all. Not at all. And friends, I'm okay.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
like
definitely
I said,
okay.
You know what? You meet people actually daily.
You do.
I work in a law firm. So working in that law firm, I see people and meet people every day working in that law firm. If it was that I would just be so hard up for, say, for instance, men. If I was so hard up for men, it's men in and out that law firm every day. It's 4 attorneys, that's men, that work there. And if I was so, hey, I could have my picks and choices. But I choose not to have to deal, because there's a lot of things that come along with what we call them ships. Some of them ships just need to just sail on.
Man.
Honey, move on.
That's why I say, you know what? Let's get back to setting boundaries. When you set a boundary, you don't set yourself up for failure. You don't allow other people to set you up for failure. Set boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Boundaries are ways to take care of yourself. When you understand how to set and maintain healthy boundaries, you would avoid the feelings of resentment, disappointment, and anger.
That's right.
That builds up when limits have been pushed. So, you know what I'm saying? Set boundaries. Make sure that, for one, you can become alone. You can be by yourself. Set boundaries. Make sure that these are things that you want in life. You want to do. Things that you want to pursue. Because I'm going to tell you, when you start, when you put self to the side and keep allowing other folks to run over you, you never get to where you want to be.
One of my people on my live, they said, hey, beautifuls. But anyway, she also said you shouldn't have to compromise with your you time. That is your time. And if your significant love what's best for you, they will appreciate, respect your you time.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That was, that's true.
That is.
It is true. And that's only if it is that person that you are with, love you or respect you or whatever the case may be. So that's still a reason why it is that you got to take back you. Yep. And that's what it is that I'm learning right now. So yeah, I don't have friends like that neither. I have sisters, but I don't have friends. Well, they are my friends. I'll take that back. But It's that you time, learning how to gain that back to you. So with me gaining my freedom, then that means that, hey, I can get up, I can go where it is I want to go. I can do what it is that I want to do for me. If I feel like because I love to travel, so if I feel like I want to jump on a plane and go somewhere, I don't know if I'm going to trust these planes right about now, but
Baby,
if I want to get in my car and drive somewhere, although I don't even trust to drive.
I was just going to say, people got to get away from that too. You know why? Because when it's your time, it's your time. Whether you in the air, whether you on the water, or whether you in your car.
Yes.
So the thing of it is that fear is not of God. So we have to stop being so fearful.
That's right.
If you better get on that, you better pray before you get on that plane, because God will let you know whether you need to get there on that plane or not.
That's right.
So the thing of it is that, hey, when you ready to go on the trip, babe, I'm ready.
It's coming up soon. It's coming up soon.
Somebody said, peace be still. Once you be still and you want that understanding, you will. And that's so true. That's so true. That is so true.
That's right.
Today we are talking about a woman with no friends, or it could be a man with no friends. But you don't know. I don't know too many men that don't have friends.
Yeah, me neither. A lot of times, men
they real friendly.
Better.
Yeah, men
they
real
click
friendly.
Better than
they do.
Some women do.
They do.
And it is sad, but hey, that's the truth of the reality.
It really is.
It really is.
It
but,
is.
Hey, ain't no haterade. Hey, you just don't mesh.
You just gotta know
everybody.
We gotta know the vision comes before the provision, and the thing about it is that you better have vision. Because I'm telling you, these people of the day, baby, they got visions of how they gonna do you.
That's
Because
right.
people sitting around scheming and scamming, they ready to just come and jump in and be your friend just to get you for everything you get.
That's right. And you know what? And what I find is that some females will come at you even harder when it is that they find out that you ain't even stooping to their level or giving them the attention that they want from you. They come at you even harder. And ladies, stop doing it. Let that woman be. Let that woman go. Let her be what it is that she want to be.
That's just
be
a part of insecurity. That's just a part of insecurity.
Oh, very much so.
It's
a
part of insecurity. But the thing of it is that, all I can say is, women, we have to start loving on ourselves more. When you straight love yourself, you don't have to do all of that to another woman. Because guess what? You mad or whatever the case may be about what this and that, but I'm saying the choice is still yours. You making a choice to put that much energy
into messing with another
woman for whatever reason is, when you could take that energy and do something for yourself and make you feel better about yourself. So,
because it's obvious that you don't feel
so
so good about yourself when it is that you coming at another woman with all kind of chaos and turmoil. You don't feel so good about yourself, so stop. That's all I say. Women,
I
stop.
Guess, I don't know. I guess because I
know that there are hating men out there too.
Yeah, But it's a lot of men that's envy of women. You know what I'm saying? That there's a lot of men that'll date a woman and straight be envy of her, or straight be like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I want to see you win. I want to see you win. But in his heart of minds, for real, he really don't want to see you win. He want to see
doing
you
other
suffer.
Things to jeopardize.
Yeah, he want to see you suffer, or he want to see you miserable because he's miserable.
Yeah. So all we saying is stop allowing the misery, the deception, the mess up, whatever it is that is impacting a lot of people's relationships, friendships, marriages, boyfriend and girlfriend ships, whatever kind of ship it is, as Miss Kiwi stated earlier. Stop.
Well, you have family ship, you got communication ship, you got situation ship, you got friendship, you got relationship, you got job ship. Any of them ships that ain't respectful, hey.
Let them sail. That's right. Let them sail on. It's time for you to hit the road.
I'm telling you.
And don't you come back no more.
And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes I just feel like overthinking is a down payment for a problem you never had.
Oh, that's a good one. Well,
And
why didn't you hold that? Hold on to that one?
The reason why I say that though is because a lot of times we overthink things, and we didn't develop the whole scenario in our heads, and it ain't even never surfaced nor came to fruition.
We haven't even
or
brought
none of
it
that.
yet.
You know what I'm saying? And we done made it up in our mind that this is what it is, and this, because I've done that before. I have, and I had to check myself. Like, for real, you sitting here, you done put a whole movie together, and it ain't even played out. It ain't even came to surface of in fruition or nothing else.
That's
for
right.
real though.
Right.
And that's why I said in this season, I am a woman with no friends, and I'm okay. Because in this season, I am checking Miss Kiwi, baby. I'm checking her so hard to the point where don't nobody else got to check me, because I'm checking me. You
That's
feel
right.
what I'm
Hey,
saying? Like,
that's the same.
I'm checking all my flaws.
That's
all
the
of
same
them.
way with me. I'm building and checking. I'm
Yeah.
building and checking. So, trying to rebuild
Trash.
myself.
Keep.
This giveaway.
Okay?
Give away. Donate.
Yeah, donate.
But yes, I'm, rebuilding me. It's
And
been
it
a
feel
long
good.
time, but hey, that's okay because it is the rebuilding time.
I'm telling you, we just got to know that you
gotta
can't.
wait a minute. My daughter is crazy. My daughter is funny. She said, "You got a friend in me."
Hey, that's right, Niecy Pooh. I'm telling you, but we just got to know that we can't be all things to all people if you nothing to yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's true. And you know what? And it's crazy because even though it is that I always say I have friends. And yes, like my daughter said, my daughter is my friend. My sister is my friend. My niece is my friend. It's those outside people that sometimes, you have to be very, very mindful and careful of who it is that you associate yourself with. So just, hey, you know what? And it's a shame that the world, society is like that now, but that's the world we live in. Hey, when people say life be lifing,
it's lifing.
Life be lifing.
Listen, I have wrote this, and that's why I say a lot of times, things be coming to me, and I'm a writer. I write down everything that I be thinking about that come to me, and I just said, solitude, when embraced with the right mindset, is a powerful season of growth.
Ooh,
being a woman with no friends. Now, I wrote this in 2024. And look at what we're talking about right now.
It was meant. It's meant. There are certain things. We talk about seasons.
Man.
There are certain things that's meant to be said at certain times. There's a lot of times that, and when you hear people say, pick your battles.
Yeah.
God is already fighting in the midst of everything it is that is trying to come at you. And I am so experiencing that now. Because when I say darts, shots, bullets, you name it, basketballs, footballs, baseballs, whatever it is that can be thrown at me have been and is being thrown. But you know what? I just thank God. I just thank him because he have covered me. He have kept me sane, and he got me moving on to where it seems, hey, my rise have not risen yet, but it is to come.
It said, being a woman with no friends doesn't mean you're lacking. Instead, it means you're being positively prepared for something else.
That's
leveling up.
That's right. Yes. Wait a minute. What I got? Yes. Can I get some ding ding, some clap clap? Yes, because that speaks volumes. I mean,
solitude is a time to grow stronger and connect with something greater than herself.
Yes. Oh, all of them good, Miss Kiwi. Wait a minute. My little things don't work too well. But yes,
I wrote all of this in 2024. But, like I said, I be things that, that's why I say when you get to yourself, all kind of things come to you and just start revealing itself.
But let me just say that when you get to yourself and you seeking God and you got God in your life, that's when positive things start to come and becoming revelations and so on and so forth. And you get to your power juices start working. But when you to yourself and you not into God, you don't have a relationship with God, those thoughts can go bloop.
It helps you find your true identity.
Yes.
It definitely does that. It definitely does
I
that.
love
It
it.
say this is a time when God can work on you, shaping, molding your heart, and preparing. Say her, but preparing you for what's to come. When a woman can stand on her own, she becomes unshakable.
Unshakable. Give me some. Yes. Yes, I am unshakable. Yes, I am. I feel that is something. You know what? Oh, I love it. Those are some, some real powerful things. Those some t-shirt moments. Hey, put them on some t-shirts because it's just so true. It speaks volumes when it is that you are rediscovering yourself.
Yes.
And the only reason why it is that I'm so excited and I'm saying this is because that's a part of what it is that I'm doing right now.
This be motivation to me. I can go back and just kind of look at stuff that I wrote back then. And back then, I wasn't even really, you know what I'm saying, seeking like I'm seeking now. And like I said, I learned how to be by myself when I moved to Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
And after, my ex had, we broke up and he came back to St. Louis and I ended up staying in Memphis another year. That's how I stayed there for 5 years. That whole year, when I say it taught me how to, not be lonely. I wasn't lonely.
Mm-hmm.
I was lonely at first. Mm-hmm. But then being alone just started teaching me how to really get in tune with myself.
Well, just think about being in a relationship or a marriage or whatever and being alone. And you are married. So you talking about that's prep time. That is prep time when it is that you got to make decisions and you have to start reinventing and remotivating yourself, to do things differently. And as long as it is that you stay on that path, and you don't let things keep seeping in, then you will find that you move a little faster. But when you do allow, because it does get hard, and when it is that you start allowing different things to seep back in and all that stuff, then it starts to push you back. So you got to climb out a little harder. It makes it harder for you to climb back out. So I'm saying that for me. That's me at this point. I'm having a hard time climbing back out, but hey, through God, all things are possible, and I am on my way.
But you know what? A lot of times, and I'm going to say this to you because I had to say it to myself a lot of times we also have to reprogram the words that comes out of our mouths. Mm-hmm. Because for one, we have to know that the tongue is the most powerful thing on your body. And you can speak life and you can speak death. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you just said, I have a hard time. No, you don't. You don't have a hard time.
I had a hard time.
Oh, okay.
I had a hard time.
Yeah.
But the good thing is the more I'm growing closer to God, the more I'm learning about God, those hard times are not hard.
I'm telling you.
It's not hard.
You start really appreciating them times. You really do.
It's really not hard.
You start appreciating them times that you go through, the bad times as we call them. You appreciate those. Because without those, then who are you?
Right, exactly.
Whose are you?
Too much.
You don't learn, nor do you experience. So what do you got to talk about besides somebody else's story?
Right, and then you don't appreciate what it is that you gain.
You don't.
So hard struggles, learnings from those hard struggles help you become a strong person.
And listen to this.
Kobe Wayne say, bring them on.
All right, now, do you hear me? Now, this is 3 things that you should just keep in mind. Insight equals is within. Insight
equals is within. Exactly. Okay, that makes sense.
Hindsight equals is
behind.
the past.
That's right.
Come on now.
I know. Yes.
Foresight
Is what you can see in the future.
Come on now.
Yes,
And those
yes,
are three
yes.
things that helped me get through with what I was going through when I was lonely. You know what I'm saying? It stuck in my mind, and I just kept reciting those things to me because, you know what I'm saying? We hold on to a lot of things.
Yeah.
And that becomes baggage for us.
Yeah.
And until we actually start letting that baggage go and start releasing and knowing that, hey, how can I ever be blessed with something else if I'm keeping all this old baggage?
That's
You
right.
see what
That's
I'm saying?
absolutely right.
That's just like, hey, me and my mama is in the process of revamping our closets. I'm telling you, before I went over there and helped mama, I gave away about 4 bags full of clothes. Mama, I know she gave away about 5 bags full of clothes. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, in order to get new things, not saying it's got to be new clothes, but the thing of it is you got to start releasing and getting rid of some of those baggage old things
that is holding you down.
Yeah, in order to get some of these new things, baby, because God got a lot of good things for us, but we can't get them because he said, you can't even be steward over small things. How can I enlarge your territory to make you, steward over larger things when you can't even handle the small things that we do? So that's all I'm saying is that when I say a woman with no friends, that's just what I mean. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know who my sisters are, but as far as having friends, I don't have no friends, and I'm okay with that. I'm not sitting here crying wolf or trying to get a pity party going on.
Right.
What I'm telling you is, in this moment, in this season, I am loving being free.
Yep. Yes.
Free.
And
I don't have drama.
And that's what I'm growing towards.
I don't have no situations.
Right.
Situations.
Right.
I don't have none of that.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
That's what you have to grow towards that.
Yes,
you have to grow towards that.
It feels good.
Yes. Because one thing for sure is, and I always think about when it comes to, say for instance, relationships with a man, I ain't never been hard up for having no man. For the simple fact and reason being, even when I first moved to Georgia, and I had experiences, I was down there at first by myself. I had experiences whereas I started not wanting to go out because I got tired of being hit on. I got tired of being grabbed on if I'm out, or hey, can I get your number, and all of this tired bull crap that a lot of men still are on. So I got tired of that. So I didn't go out. But that helped me to stay in and to learn a little bit more, about myself. So
I got a question though. I got a question for you or anybody that want to call in. 515-599. We still got a few more minutes before the time is up. But do you feel like the more people you have around you validates you as a woman?
Heck no.
Or who you are?
No, because I don't have that many people around me now.
And that's just why, that's why I said, listen, even when I had a lot of people around me, that didn't validate who I was. I validated who I was. But even being by myself is validation to let me know that it don't take all of that.
Right.
It don't take none of that for me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I straight can walk in a room with my head held high and strut up in there like I'm the baddest thing in the world because of my confidence. You feel what I'm saying? Yep. And that's all we saying. Ladies, you have to love yourself.
Yes,
we have to get to that point where we have to love ourselves enough to where it's okay to be by yourself.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
I mean, even if it is that you don't want to be by yourself, still love yourself.
Yeah.
But I'm give yourself that you
I'm not
time.
Speaking in the sense of being in a relationship.
I'm talking about even being with, having friends or whatever the case may be.
I'm just saying, like, you got to be able to be alone in order to be able to appreciate even being in a relationship.
Well, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people feel like if I don't have somebody around me, I don't exist or I can't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the truth.
Yeah.
You got to be able to be alone and be okay with that. So that, you know, you could be able to, you know, feel like, okay, even though I'm standing right here by myself, because one thing about it, like I said, if you was not born with a twin, and even with a twin, it's still something about that twin that's different. Even if they, what are they called? Identical or, you know, it's still something about that twin. But you was born in the world by yourself. You're going to leave by yourself. Yeah. That means you have to learn how to be by yourself.
That's right. Absolutely. Most definitely. So, yes.
But you know, hey, we thank y'all for tuning in anyway. You know, if y'all ever got a topic or want to come on the show, let us know. Reach out to your girls.
That's right.
Hey, we definitely love people to interact with us. Call in 515-599-1687. Our lives is jumping. We appreciate each and every one of y'all on our lives for supporting us every Friday. I know that when y'all don't see us, y'all wondering what happened. Just know that we ain't left and we're nowhere. Life just be life. We are human. We go through human things. And, hey, we not perfect either. So
that's right.
We love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting us. We want y'all to like, subscribe, and share. And hey, let us know what y'all think about our show. You know, because hey, we need some help with, you know, things that's going on in the world. You might know something that we don't know. Talk to us. We'll talk back. Definitely that.
Yes. So until it is that we meet again next Friday, I want every last one of you all, male, female, whether you're in a relationship or not, whether you're thinking about being in a relationship or not, hey, self-motivation, self-preparation, self-restoration. That means restore. Hey, if you've been damaged, torn down, whatever the case may be, restoration. Get yourself back in gear and become, hey, a more powerful being than you ever would know. You got to build that relationship with God first, though.
Boundaries, set boundaries, defining personal space, communicating, expectations, finance responsibilities, privacy, and emotional support. Set boundaries. And it's okay to set boundaries. If people told you it wasn't, that's not true. Set boundaries. When you set boundaries, you already know what to expect. That person who you dealing with will know what to expect. Y'all already know how to deal with it. Y'all will be able to respect each other's space. You know, all of the above. So it's okay to be a woman with no friends.
That's right.
Until the next time, we love y'all.
With no friends.
Or a man with no friends.
Or a child.
Until the next time, Miss Mink and Mrs. Kiwi, we are signing off. And I'm going to play this right here because it's just my jam anyway.
Okay. Play your jam.
No pain, no gain.
Oh, yes. Why?
No pain, no gain.
My baby and I are back together again. Loving is better than it's ever been. If it weren't for the trials we've been through, I'd never have the courage to come back to you. We're all entitled